Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I was absolutely blown away when I was digging into today's topic, because we're looking at something that is just fundamentally reshaping IT infrastructure. Historically, organizations have wasted literally countless hours and resources just trying to maintain clunky legacy hardware. It's staggering when you actually look at the numbers. But today, we are diving deep into the powerhouse integration between Leostream and Amazon Web Services, or AWS. If you've ever dealt with the absolute headache of managing remote desktops for a scattered workforce, you know firsthand it can be a massive challenge. We're going to see exactly how Leostream and AWS are completely transforming remote desktop management, taking it from complex and rigid to incredibly simple and scalable. All right, let's dive right into this. So let me ask you this. How do you deliver 100 virtual desktops in minutes, completely without upfront infrastructure? For IT professionals watching, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It perfectly captures the core challenge of modern end-user computing. Traditionally, standing up that many virtual desktops meant massive, and I mean massive, capital expenditure. You were waiting weeks, maybe even months, just for hardware to arrive, and then dealing with incredibly complex setup processes. The stakes for deployment speed and capital expense have honestly never been higher, especially today, when businesses need to adapt to remote work in an absolute instant.
Here's a quick roadmap of what we're covering today. First, the Digital Workspace Challenge. Then, Leostream meets AWS, powering Amazon Workspaces Core, out-of-the-box Cloud HPC, the AWS Advantage, and finally, building your cloud solution. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The Digital Workspace Challenge.
Remember the days of waiting months for physical servers to finally show up on loading docks, only to spend weeks racking, stacking, and configuring every single one of them? Well, that's traditional on-premises virtual desktop infrastructure, or VDI, and this legacy approach is famously rigid. It requires massive overhead, constant, never-ending maintenance, and huge upfront investments in your data centers. It is very much the old way of doing things. Now contrast that with the modern solution, Leostream combined with AWS Cloud Elasticity. This is all about agility. It's about spinning up resources exactly when you need them, and crucially, spinning them right back down when you don't. It's moving away from being anchored to a physical data center and embracing a model that actually scales with your business needs in real time.
Moving right along to Section 2. Leostream meets AWS.
There's a quote from the source material that just hits the nail on the head regarding this synergy. It says, empowering IT professionals to support work from anywhere while providing complete visibility into users, security, costs, and provisioning within their hybrid cloud environments, all through a single pane of glass. I really want you to focus on that concept for a second. A single pane of glass. Think of Leostream like your air traffic controller. Instead of logging into 5 completely different systems to manage your cloud resources, your on-prem hardware, user access, and security policies, Leostream brings the whole shebang into one unified control panel.
So let's break down what that actually looks like in practice and translate some of these technical features into real-world business outcomes. Take AWS EC2, for example. Paired with Leostream, organizations can instantly move workloads to the cloud and deploy virtual workstations with incredible agility. Next, Amazon Workspaces Core. Here, Leostream gives admins a single console to manage hybrid infrastructure across all Workspaces Core regions. Third, Amazon DCV. This one is for your heavy hitters. Leostream optimizes these super expensive, high-power servers while keeping the end-user experience totally intuitive. And finally, physical machines. You don't have to just toss out your existing investments. No way. Leostream actually lets you incorporate those on-premise assets as part of a seamless migration plan. It's awesome because it basically lets a company keep their legacy hardware running smoothly while simultaneously building out their future in the cloud.
Section 3. Powering Amazon Workspaces Core.
Okay, let's de-jargonize this technology for just a second. Amazon Workspaces Core Managed Instances is a highly robust managed desktop service provided by AWS. But the real magic happens when you layer Leostream right on top of it. Leostream acts as this incredibly smart brokering layer. It injects centralized session management, strict policy controls, and a very crucial zero-trust access model right into the AWS service. It's essentially like taking a massive, powerful engine and giving it a state-of-the-art steering wheel.
So how does this integration actually combine cloud elasticity with centralized control, completely skipping that traditional VDI overhead? Well, first, you get centralized session management and policy control through the Leostream broker. That means IT absolutely always knows exactly who is accessing what and when.
Second, and this is a game changer for power users, it fully supports both GPU-backed and compute-optimized instance types. So no matter how intense the workload gets, the user still gets blazing fast performance. Third, you get to keep hybrid flexibility. You manage both AWS and on-prem resources side by side without missing a beat. And lastly, zero trust access via the Leostream gateway. This ensures rock-solid security is locked in before any connection is even established.
Section 4. Out-of-the-box Cloud HPC. I've got to admit, when I first read about this, I wondered how remote workers could possibly handle massive 3D graphics rendering or highly intensive CAD software without dealing with some maddening lag. Well, the answer is Amazon DCV. It's a high-performance remote visualization protocol hosted in AWS EC2. If you've got engineers or creatives who are really pushing the limits of computing, standard virtual desktops just aren't going to cut it. Amazon DCV delivers secure, highly intuitive access to those specific, heavy workloads. And Leostream's role here? It streamlines the IT management so you can fully optimize the utilization of those expensive servers. You're basically getting the blistering performance of a massive under-the-desk workstation, but it's hosted securely in the AWS cloud and managed easily right through Leostream.
All right, Section 5, the AWS advantage.
Let's zoom out a bit and look at the foundational pillars that make this whole synergy tick. First off, scalability is massive here. True scalability means leveraging AWS's elastic infrastructure to scale up or down based on your actual real-time demand. You are never paying for capacity that isn't currently being used, which is an absolute game changer for IT budgets. Then we have flexibility. Leostream can connect users to any operating system from basically any device: laptops, desktops, tablets, or thin clients, you name it. And finally, security. You're combining the incredibly robust, world-class security features of AWS with Leostream's advanced access control and policy management.
Building on those pillars gives us 3 immense, practical advantages. Step 1 is cost optimization. Because of the pay-as-you-go model on AWS, Leostream's resource optimization features literally eliminate wasted spend. Step 2 is simplified management. The centralized console drastically cuts down on administrative complexity and removes the daily headaches for your IT staff. And Step 3, which is absolutely vital for actually getting users to adopt the system, is an enhanced user experience. The Leostream gateway connects users to AWS's global network infrastructure, which guarantees incredibly low latency. Seriously, even if a user is sitting halfway across the world, their digital workspace feels highly responsive and entirely local.
And finally, Section 6. Building your cloud solution.
If there's one single takeaway I want you to grab from this explainer, it's this: multi-cloud brokering via a single pane of glass. This is a purpose-built solution for advanced hybrid environments. What Leostream and AWS are providing together is one unified control panel that seamlessly blends your cloud resources with your physical on-premise machines. It lets you create a completely secure, flexible work-from-anywhere environment without having to rip out and replace everything you already own. It's all about modernizing at your own pace with total visibility.
So I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to harness the full potential of cloud computing? The integration of Leostream and AWS proves that the barriers to entry for scalable, secure, and incredibly fast virtual desktops are lower than they've ever been. The technology is here, and the friction has basically vanished. So the real question is, how much competitive advantage are you leaving on the table by sticking with those legacy systems? I really encourage you to rethink your hybrid strategy today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.